Happy Monday, Sooner Nation. Welcome to Double Trouble. Thanks for being on here. I see a lot of the usual suspects, the Sergio Maniacs, as you guys call yourself. And yeah, some news today, Jay, out of Norman, Oklahoma.
Yeah, Sandlin taking job at SMU and already got the replacement. Curtis Lofton going to be the general manager. I like that new name they're giving those guys. GMs, love it. You?
Yeah, hey, either it's my phone or you're in, but you're lagging or something. Maybe the viewers can help us out.
Oh, really? I'm lagging?
Well, I mean, I'm hearing you before your mouth is moving, so maybe it's just me, guys. Could be
I
on
think
my
it's just
end.
you, bro. I think it's just you.
Well, I can't exit and get back on this. So, yeah, Curtis Lofton, I think it's a very good play by OU to, get his name. Obviously, he's been around in the NFL. I think he's very relatable to guys. And then I'll be curious who maybe replaces him in his previous position.
Yeah, from Jay says it's lagging. I can get off and join again if you
Please do. Please
Is it still doing it?
Please do. Yes, exit this thing and get back on. Yeah, Lori, I do not eat at Panera Bread. Not a Panera Bread fan. I don't know what you're asking for, but let me know why. Yes, Keon Sabb on 3 has reported that Alabama is where he will be ending up. So yeah, we'll see. I want to get another comment in here about can't find it. I'll find it in the chat here in a minute, Jay. But
what are you looking for?
There was another one. Obviously, Sabb on 3 reported is going to
Alabama.
That's a big get for them.
Yeah, it is. I mean, because you think about Alabama and how much they lost out of the portal. Now they're able to get at somebody like this. It's a big get for him. He's a good player. So I kind of left when y'all were talking about Curtis Lofton and maybe who's going to replace him with Soul Mission. That's interesting to see what they're going to do there. I mean, because he played a big role in the Soul Mission. I mean, so I would love for a guy like Gerald McCoy to get back. I know that's probably not going to happen. He's doing great things on the NFL Network, wherever he's at. But to me, it's got to be a former player. It's got to be somebody that's played at OU for that Soul Mission. Don't you? I mean, obviously Clemson has a guy. I think Xavier Brewer's on that, maybe on that part. He's from Clemson. I mean, there's other guys, but you look at Caleb Kelly. I mean, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, Caleb Kelly's already there. I don't know. I would disagree a little bit that has to it doesn't have to be someone who's been a former Sooner. I think there could be other people that can fit that role, Jay.
Yeah, and Curtis Lofton, this is a big jump for him. I mean, this is a big role. He doesn't really have the experience that J.R. Sandlin had. I mean, J.R. Sandlin came with a ton of experience. I remember when he came to OU, I was like, dang, this guy's
much different backgrounds.
Much different. And that's fine. Like, I'm not saying it's bad. I think it's good. Curtis Lofton, from everybody I've talked to, I know a guy that knows him pretty well. Outstanding, just smart dude, outstanding individual. I think he's going to be great. I really do. Yeah. Very relational. I mean, players love him. I think he'll be a great fit.
Lori, I'll just say this once. I did read the stories of the Panera thing, and yeah, I don't want to get too much into it. But, you got to know what you're drinking for one. I mean, if you can't stand caffeine, you probably shouldn't get a hyped up caffeine lemonade.
Do you go to Starbucks still?
Yes.
They got this new drink. I haven't had it yet. Somebody was telling me about it today. It's got olive oil in it. It's supposed to be dang good.
I've never thought of drinking olive oil my entire life.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. Oat milk and olive oil.
You notice anything different about me tonight, Jay? Viewers?
You sound clear.
I always sound clear. Do you see this under my chin?
You got a little mic.
A lapel mic, bro.
I got one that just arrived. I'll be wearing it tomorrow night.
You'll be able to hear me in surround sound. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't even know if I sound any different or not.
You sound a little clear, but I don't know when you start yelling. We'll see what happens. Hey.
This is the worst hot take I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, that's
That's
way.
awful.
No way, Dalpos. Come on, man.
And next thing you'll say is Lightning's better than Mountain Dew, which I got a Mountain Dew right now. I'm not drinking the Lightning sound. Same sound. Same sound. Worthless.
You still drink Mountain Dew? You
Worthless.
still drink Mountain Dew? Interesting. Hey.
Same sound, Mez says. It's worthless to purchase this thing.
Oh, hey. You saw the graphic. SEC quarterbacks.
I know why you did that, Jay.
Why?
Because of the take I left everyone with last night.
I'm trying to remember. I slept since last night. What was the last take you put on there?
I made a hot take right at the end of the program last night. I said, Jackson Arnold will be the best quarterback in the SEC this coming year.
Okay. Can I say so? I'm going to come at you right now.
Bring it.
Listen, you are predicting 9-3 for OU season next year. Yet I'm not. Let me finish.
Okay.
9-3 is kind of where you've been at most of the time. You think they're going to finish. Okay, 9-3. Yet for some reason, 9-3 with the best quarterback in the SEC, with the defense they got coming back. Why 9-3? Why not 11-1? I mean, at this rate, they got the best group.
You're an idiot.
How? You just
You're
said
an
Jackson
absolute
Arnold will be the
ridiculous
best
person.
You just said Jackson Arnold will be the best quarterback in the SEC.
I'm
tell you this
going to be
now. If Jackson Arnold's the best quarterback in the SEC next year and they're 9-3, it's an awful year.
Okay. First off, I've said all year long, go back and watch every video I've ever done at night, every live.
I don't have time to watch all those.
I've said the ceiling is 10-2, 8-4 is the floor, 9-3 gets you in the playoff. Now listen to me right now, bud. I'll say this again, like I said on the Discord earlier, and Eric was on there. He knows. Look, a 10-2 or a 9-3 is pretty much like an 11-1 in the Big 12. So
no, it's not. In the Big 12, but it's 9-3 is 9-3, dude.
And it's equivalent to 11-1 or 12-0 in the Big 12.
So so ranking the SEC.
So you're telling me right now if OU goes 10-2, and you don't think Jackson Arnold could be the best quarterback?
I think 10-2 would be. I don't.
You're ridiculous.
No, okay. Rank your quarterbacks in. You got Jackson Arnold number 1.
I guess Quinn Ewers. There's not that good quarterbacks in the league.
Wait, so you have Jackson Arnold and Quinn Ewers as the top 2 quarterbacks in the league?
Name me someone better on paper.
I'm asking you who your top 5 are.
Top 5. Here we go. Jack, in no particular order.
No, that's not the plan. The deal is in order. I want to hear you.
Zip it.
No, I want to hear you. Rank them. Don't be a scaredy cat. Rank them.
I'm not a scaredy cat. I'm going to go Jackson. For next year, I'm going to say Jackson Arnold will be the top quarterback in the SEC. Okay?
You got him number 1.
I'm leaning towards yours as the second best. Jackson Dart, Beck, and I'll probably say Brady Cook or Will Nussmeier.
Oh, okay. So I'm a little different than you because I would go number 1, Beck. I go number 2, probably. I'd probably go Ewers. Number 3. I think Brady Cook's pretty good. I'd go Jackson Arnold around 4. And then 5 Dart.
No Milroe.
Milroe 5. Milroe 5, Dart 6. I'm not sold on Dart. Hey, but I'm basing my rankings off of to me, you got to have a little bit of experience. And that's why Nico's not up there, and that's why Arnold's not in the top 3.
Jay, I'm just curious. What have you seen from Jackson Dart to make you?
I didn't have Dart. I had Dart number 6.
Okay, who'd you have? Brady Cook?
I had Beck and Cook. Yeah, Cook beat 4 top 25 teams last year.
He scored what? Okay. Yeah, he did. I'm just saying.
Okay. Beck, I think speaks for himself. He put up more yards than
himself. He's not going to have Bowers, bud.
Okay, but I'm ranking the quarterbacks, dude. I'm not ranking
I do the same thing. I base my rankings on talent, okay? I do the same thing. Potential. I'm sorry. Here's what I'm going to say, Jay. That's going to blow your mind because you're absolutely ridiculous. If Jackson Arnold's not one of the top quarterbacks next year and the year after, he's not as good as we thought he was.
I'm not talking
How
year
about that?
after.
How about that?
I'm not talking year after. I'm talking about next year. And I don't think falling 3 or 4 in the Big 12 in the SEC is a bad ranking for him.
So, and I don't think 9-3 in the SEC is horrible either.
I don't either, but I guess so. You're basing
where would Dylan Gabriel be right now if he was in the SEC? That's my question.
Dylan Gabriel would be ranked ahead of Jackson Arnold in SEC quarterbacks.
Where would he be ranked right now?
If Dylan Gabriel would have transferred to an SEC school, he would have been ranked probably 1 or 2 in the rankings.
And that if Dylan Gabriel is one, then Jackson Arnold can be the best quarterback next year.
You're asking me where he would be ranked. I'm telling you, the pundits would put him 1 or 2.
Okay,
yes, Bobby, right behind that.
What's
so hard for this? Dude, you don't know. All you're basing your Jackson Arnold stuff is based off talent and upside, right?
What else am I going to base it on? He threw 400 yards in a bowl game with 3 picks. Yeah, he's going to be pretty dang good.
You act like I don't think Arnold's going to be good.
Jason,
I think Arnold's great, okay? I think he's great.
If Dylan Gabriel is ranked...
Let me say something real quick, and you're going to hate this, and you may start throwing things when I say this. But as much as you rip Sunshine Pumpers, I mean, you rip Sunshine Pumpers more than I've ever seen. Is that the most Sunshine Pumper take I've ever seen, to have Jackson Arnold number 1? As an OU fan, ranking him number 1 in the SEC quarterback rankings going into the year. Viewers, help me out here. That's got to be a Sunshine Pumper take, right?
Don't ever call me a Sunshine Pumper 1.
I just did.
And Eric, I already know we've bantered on this. We've argued about this on the Discord. Jackson Arnold did not look great against BYU. He only threw like 6 balls, I think, the entire game. Jackson Arnold, in my opinion, looked pretty good. Looked pretty stinking good against Arizona. Showed a whole lot of promise going into next season. And I'm just going to say this. If Dylan Gabriel is ranked number 1 in the SEC, which you said he probably would be, Jay.
I said 1 or 2.
Okay, 1 or 2. If he's 1 or 2 in the SEC, I want you right now to say, who would you take as your quarterback, Jay? Gabriel or Arnold?
For next year, I would take Arnold.
Then you can't say he's not better.
I didn't say he wasn't better.
So you would take the worst quarterback.
You put words in my mouth every night on here. It's ridiculous.
Jeez.
You put words in my mouth every night. I would take Arnold in a heartbeat over Dylan Gabriel. I think Arnold's a better quarterback. You asked me where he would be ranked. Pundits would rank him 1 or 2.
I don't give a rip about pundits.
Well, that's
nice
what I'm
vocab word for the night. Pundits.
Jeez, I'm basing mine off where he would be. You asked me where he would be ranked, and I'm telling you,
I'm basing mine off arm strength, talent, receivers coming back. In my opinion, Jackson Arnold's got it all. Okay, will he have some struggles? Maybe.
Jackson Arnold's an outstanding quarterback and is going to be unbelievable. I think he's going to be top 3, 4 quarterback in the league. Okay, so I don't know why you're coming at me. I'm just saying it's hard for me to put rankings him number 1.
Here's the beauty of it, Eric. I can say he's top 3 in the SEC. It's an opinion. I can say it. Second of all, to say he was completely inaccurate is way hyperbolic. He was not completely inaccurate, okay? I'm not saying that. Now, did he make some bad decisions? Yeah. He threw late. His first 2 picks, he was late throwing the ball. Absolutely. Absolutely was. It was this thing called a bowl game, first major college experience. 380 on your first bowl game. I thought that was pretty stinking good.
Here's the thing, Eric, listen, Eric and Jeremy, both of you need to listen here. I'm not.
Do we need to?
Yeah, you do. You say listen all the time. You listen to this. I'm not ranking anything off of 1 game. Eric, you're putting all the marbles in 1 game. Jeremy, you're talking about 1 game he's played, and I'm not talking about 1 game. I can't do that. I, as a OU fan and as a person that watches the games, I've seen 1 game. Yes, uber talented, 5-star recruit, unbelievable quarterback. Do I think he's going to be a great quarterback at Oklahoma? Yes. Do I think he's going to win a Heisman at Oklahoma? Yes. Do I think he's going to win a national championship at Oklahoma? I would say yes.
Oh, Sunshine Pumper, Joe.
No, I'm saying I can't rank him number 1 in the SEC right now. And for you to put him number 1, I think everybody would say that's a little over the top.
It probably is over the top, but I can say it if I want to. And I'm not basing mine off bowl game. I'm not basing it on anything except for he's got elite arm talent. And here's the deal, Eric, and others who want to bash him for the bowl game. First off, the coordinator, the offense that he ran, the coordinator that he trusted and came to OU for is gone, okay? Even Seth Luttrell basically said we ran out of plays to even call for the kid. Plus, they didn't want him running the ball, so that takes half of the offense out.
Now listen, Miss. If you're ranking pure talent quarterbacks in the SEC,
here's what I'm basing it on.
No, if I'm picking purely talented quarterbacks off of pure talent, I'm going Jackson Arnold and Nico, 1 and 2. Those two guys are the top two. Because if that, and Bobby, here you go. You're following right in my footsteps here. If you're going to base it on pure talent, why is Nico not number 1 or 2, Jeremy? Tell me why right now.
I left him off. I shouldn't have.
Did you see what he did in the bowl game against Iowa?
I would put him on it, Jay. I agree.
Did you see what he did against Iowa, an elite defense? Ripped him to shreds, buddy. How come he's not on your list?
I just said I forgot him, dude. Jeez.
I mean,
I made a mistake.
Imagine that. A true
hey, fans, I made a mistake. I apologize. Golly.
Why are you apologizing? What are you talking about? And Mess says, if you're based off talent, Jackson and Nico.
I thought he played good. I don't know why Eric is being so down on Jackson Arnold the bowl game. Go back. I want you to do this. Go back and rewatch the bowl game. Tell me he played bad. I didn't see that. I saw mistakes, yes, but I left that game thinking, oh my goodness, OU has the dude they want at quarterback. And if Farouk doesn't fumble the ball where they run it all the way back, OU probably wins that game 45-13, and everyone's talking up Jackson Arnold. So stop.
Oh, I think Jackson Arnold would be great. I'm not worried about the one game that he had a lot of turnovers, because he did have turnovers. And I think that's what Eric is. BYU, I don't think you can count BYU.
There was no reason he thought he was playing in that game, and they didn't let him do anything when he got in the game.
Yeah, I was very limited when he
missed one deep ball that he wants back to Nick Anderson. And he also audibled and made the game-winning play, you could argue.
I think he'll be fine. That's not – I mean, looking at these SEC quarterbacks, I do think it's a average quarterback league when I look at the talent in there. Okay,
it's not a great quarterback league.
I don't think it's a great quarterback when you look at guys going pro out of the SEC. I mean, Jackson Dart, to me, I'm not sold. He's not very big. I don't think I think he's decent. I don't think he's outstanding. You look at Brady Cook, another guy. I think he's good. I think he's a good quarterback. Nussmeier, I think he's good. I mean, all these guys to me, I think are good. I don't think they have great quarterbacks. Great quarterback. And when I say great, I mean the likes of, like, if you look at the quarterbacks coming out of going to the NFL this year, guys like May, Caleb Williams. I mean, and in fact, I don't think they have I don't know if they have a Bo Nix over there in the SEC right now.
Hey, Dalpois, first off, I've never said Arnold's turnovers didn't hurt in that game. But the situational plays by Farouk were way more evident and highlighted. That's the point. Look, two of his turnovers were really early in that game. Jackson Arnold. He came back from that and led him to where they had the win, basically.
Bob, I might have missed something. I don't know where anyone said that Jackson Arnold lost them the game.
They didn't.
But they played Jackson Arnold with the turnover. The turnovers played a part in the loss, period.
Well, it's a team sport, but Jackson Arnold, in my opinion, played a really, really good game against Arizona. I left that game excited for this year.
And let me compare something to you. And this is what I'm basing it off of. Why I cannot put Jackson Arnold number 1. Go back to Caleb Williams at Oklahoma. Freshman year, comes in the Texas game, has a great game, uber talented. I don't think Caleb Williams had a great year that year, his freshman year. Struggled to beat Kansas, had a bad game against Kansas, had bad games, a few games, okay? He struggled. He was one of the most talented guys to ever come out of high school, Jeremy. And him as a freshman struggled, okay? So I think it's hard when guys haven't played a lot on the field in games. We've only seen one true start from Jackson Arnold, and it was the bowl game with a new coordinator.
And
it's hard for me to rank him number one right now coming out of the season.
Because I can do what I want. Michael.
Okay, you can do whatever you want. I know you will. That's fine.
Michael, you're right. O-line was a shell compared to last season. It was a shell of itself in the bowl game, guys. Different everything. Different snapper of the ball.
Jeremy, I think a lot of times you take what I say and what other people say, and you.
I want to hear Dalpos's definition of a really good game. Then.
What do you mean not fair, Eric? He did come in and lead us. I said he played great that game, but what I'm saying is he still had struggles that year. He did. All young quarterbacks do.
He played unbelievable against Texas.
You don't think he's going to have any struggles this year?
He played unbelievable against Texas. It's almost like when people know you're gonna when you're kind of coming off the bench, everyone plays.
Hey, Eric, let me tell you the difference in this right now. The difference is OU was down 18. If OU would have been down 18 against BYU, he would have been slinging it all over the field.
They weren't letting him sling the ball around. Even the coaches said they wanted him to manage the game, and he did that.
Yeah, I don't think they were just trying to not lose that game.
He didn't turn the ball over, did he?
So
did he turn the ball over against BYU, Jay?
He didn't throw it enough to turn it over.
I want to know what Dalpos's definition of a really, really good game is. I guess he's saying Baker against Texas Tech. Well, yeah, come on. Hey, by the way, Baker struggled his first thing, Jeremy. Baker struggled his year.
If you're going to rank Jackson Arnold as the number one quarterback in the SEC next year, you can't go 9-3.
I said 10-2 is the ceiling. I would love 10-2.
No, if he's ranked number one and he's going to be the best quarterback next year, they can't go 9-3.
Why can't they?
That would mean he would lose to the likes of Jackson Dart and Brady Cook.
Oh, so it'd all be his fault? You know how those games are going to play out, Jay?
Well, if the defense is supposed to be as good as we all think.
We don't know everything. I'm just saying
you don't
I'm basing
it. Thank you. And the truth shall set you free, as you would say, Jeremy. You don't know how Jackson Arnold's going to be either.
I don't. It's an opinion. I already said that.
Okay, but if you have an opinion of Jackson Arnold being that good, number one quarterback, how can you have an opinion of 9-3?
I've said the entire time we do the live, 10-2 is the ceiling, 8-4 is the floor.
I don't want a ceiling. I want record right now with Jackson Arnold.
I can't. I'm not Deion Warwick. I tell you this every night. I'm not Deion Warwick.
Okay.
I'm sorry. If OU goes 10-2 or 9-3, let's just say 10-2 or 9-3. Let's start with 10-2. Let's say they lose to Texas and LSU on the road. That means they beat Ole Miss on the road, Missouri on the road, Bama at home, Auburn on the road. Pretty good year.
Agreed.
So that's 10. Let's go 9-3. Let's say they beat Texas. They lose to Ole Miss on the road, LSU on the road, and one other one. They beat Bama at home. They beat Texas. You got to look at this. This is not the Big 12 anymore. You can't look at it the Big 12.
I agree, but you're comparing these quarterbacks as not even as good as the Big 12 quarterbacks.
Daniels lost 3 games, won the Heisman, best quarterback in the league. Correct?
Aaron, how can you sit here and say it's not your Big 12, yet you're saying that the quarterbacks in this league aren't as good as the Big 12? Their defenses aren't as good compared to the SEC. Mike, he said the defenses in the SEC haven't been as good lately. So what makes the SEC so great then? I mean,
okay, so now we're going to say the SEC is not as good. Okay.
I'm going off your words you just said. So whatever.
No, so you're telling me if OU goes 9-3, 10-2 next year, you're not satisfied?
Jeremy, I think 9-3 is what they're going to go. That's my prediction.
And
I can say my prediction. I don't have a ceiling. I don't have a floor. 9-3 is what their record's going to be, in my opinion.
Eric, and is that a good year, Jay?
I'll take it first year in the SEC with their schedule being tough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. 10-2 is good enough.
So one game difference. Okay. Hey,
yeah,
that game all hinges on Jackson Arnold. Okay.
Listen. No, Jackson Arnold. One game difference gets you in the playoff or not, Jeremy? What are you talking about?
Look, the poster that said Daniels had 3 losses and won the Heisman is exactly right. Okay. Second of all, Eric, you say I said the offensive line is solid now. No, I've said the offensive line, I like what they have there. They're deep. They're inexperienced, but they're deep. They got numbers. I don't know what the offensive line is going to be like. It's a question mark. I love what they've done there.
Trap House says Carson Beck ain't bad. Dart is sexy, but don't win the big ones, and I like our chances against yours. Hey, Jeremy, listen.
No, I'm not going to do this anymore. It's ridiculous.
I'm not either. I'm ending it right now. I'm not arguing the point that Jackson Arnold's a good quarterback or is not. He can't be the best quarterback. I'm not saying that. I said it's hard for me to rank him number one going into the year. Is that fair?
I can understand why it would be hard.
Okay, thank you. Then we're done arguing.
Never said it wouldn't be hard. I gave my opinion on the deal. And listen, I still think 10-2 is a strong possibility. Like, if you think 10-2 is bad, it's ridiculous.
Who said it's bad?
There's OU fans who are thinking 7-5 will be good. That's idiotic. 10-2 would be a phenomenal year in the SEC.
No, 10-2. I think 10-2 is what you really need this year. I mean, to really prove that I'm SEC. We're SEC. Let's go 10-2. I think 9-3 is more realistic. I do. Based off what I've seen for the last 2 years under Brent Venables and the games they've lost, I think they're going to slip up 2 games they probably shouldn't and probably end up 9-3.
Yeah.
But I will say this.
If we're 9-3, Jackson Arnold, no way possible, can be the best quarterback in the SEC.
I didn't say that, and I'll say this.
Right, Jay?
Listen, I'll say this.
Yeah,
they are closer to being 10-2 than 8-4. I don't think 8. If they go 8-4, I'm not happy at all. I'm pretty ticked.
Okay, Dowpolis. This may be. I don't know what to say. I think Arnold has a ton of talent, but yet he's yet to play a really good game. He's played one game. One game.
Hey, and Jeremy, I think Jackson Arnold, they could have a couple of losses and him still be ranked pretty high in the SEC.
People are comparing Jackson Arnold. When I mentioned the Farouk thing, Farouk's been here like 6 years. Give me a break.
But when I think of great quarterbacks, I don't think just stats. I think of a great quarterback. You win the close games that you have to win. That's why when I said you're ranking number one, I would say that'd have to be one loss, 2 losses max.
I think that's what Jackson Arnold's going to do.
A great quarterback who's the best quarterback in the SEC, they get you over the hump in the games against Ole Miss, Missouri, and they get you to 10-2 or 11-1. If you're 9-3, I don't know how you could be the top quarterback in the league. That's
What's
just
funny from you, Jay, is you're the one that said Ole Miss and Missouri. You're the one that said Ole Miss and Missouri. It would be a hard time not making the playoff for them. And he gone.
Those are swing games, I said.
Well, if OU's got to beat them, I mean.
Man, you just love to change the words I say. Whatever.
Anyway.
Last five-star Heisman caliber true
a lot of hype
freshman.
to win national championship.
What's the last 5-star Heisman caliber to win a national championship? True freshman. Now, he's not a true freshman.
Not a true freshman,
but
Peyton Manning was what? Trevor Lawrence was the number one guy.
Yeah.
At OU, Jamel Holloway's a true freshman. But if you're going off, Trevor Lawrence would be, in my opinion, the one that did it.
You know, Bryce Young was what when he won the Heisman? A freshman? Redshirt freshman, I think.
Yeah, look, I'm just not a fence straddler, and you know that, Jay. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, Arnold could be the best or he might not be. That's not how I roll. So I'm going to stick with my opinion. And I know how you roll.
I'm not asking you to roll. Jeez.
And if you want my true, I've said for a long time that this defense is going to be way better, and I still think it will be. Look, 10-2, a playoff would be an unbelievable. You are kidding yourself if you don't think every single Sooner fan would take 10-2 right now in a heartbeat.
I agree in Copenhagen. I agree with this too. His point is that the defense is more important than where Jackson Arnold ranks. I agree.
Yes.
I agree. Defense wins championships. Go look at Michigan. I don't think their quarterback was setting the world on fire, personally.
Exactly. J.J. McCarthy was average, slightly above average.
But you know what he did? He made key plays in key moments of the game. Plays.
I think he's like Brock Purdy was in a lot of ways.
So I don't know if you base. I mean, what do you think they base? I mean, you look at a lot of times they base the rankings on quarterbacks off their stats, and that shouldn't be the case. To me, that's not it.
Eric, here's what I'll say on this, and I'm not far from you on this agreement. I would take 10-2 in a heartbeat. 9-3, I'm disappointed if they don't make the playoff, yes. I'm also disappointed on who those 3 losses might be too.
That's true. And Trap House, man, he speaks truth a lot. He says it right. I love the way he says this. He doesn't have the body of work to put him over anyone that has played meaningful reps. Jackson Arnold is my guy. I'm agreeing with you there. He's my guy too. But he got to fill his resume. I got to see it first. Got to see it.
The prediction. Mine's just a prediction for next year.
I got you. And hey, Eric says he agrees with you. I think it was on the 10-2. 10-2. I got a trivia. Before we get trivia, let me talk about the FanStop for a minute. You see the FanStop logo, see it rolling across the bottom. Go to the fanstop.com, enroll in the Shirt of the Month Club. Use code SURGE. You'll get 10% off your first 3 months. Great shirts. If you're OU fans, if you're fans of other colleges, they got a bunch. Officially licensed. Be a part of it. Use code SURGE and join up with the FanStop. Trivia for the night. While we're talking about Jackson Arnold, Jeremy, I'm sure you saw that Bauer Sharp, the transfer tight end, chose number 10. He's number 10, which means Jackson Arnold will not be number 10. Will not be number 10. So my guess, he probably goes back to 11 as high school number. I think that's probably where he's going to go. So here's a trivia question. I'm looking for a past OU quarterback who wore number 11, who also had ties or has ties to another SEC school. This is a tricky one, guys. See if you can get it. Not Blake Bell. Hey, that's right, Trap House monthly shirt. It's a great deal, and they're good-looking shirts too. Promise you, I've got them. They're good. Yo, you thought I was going to say 10. That's not it. Not Trevor. Not hype. Hey, let me say this. You got to go back in time a little bit. And
you got to get the Irish shirt, man, in March. You got to get it.
Guys, you are way too soon. You need to go way back. Way back, boys. And a lot of y'all aren't even getting the right numbers. You're putting quarterbacks that didn't wear number 11. I need a quarterback that wore number 11 that also has a tie to another current SEC school. I'm out of trick, y'all. Jerem, do you know it?
I think I know it.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Do I need to give a hint, guys?
Did someone say Joey Halsley in here? Yeah.
Yeah. He's at Tennessee, I think, now.
Way too late.
And that was probably and when I say has a tie, that does let me rephrase that. It doesn't mean he's still with the team. I mean, I guess you could say had a tie. Not Jack Mildren. You're getting closer, Bobby. That's about the time.
If Sooner Legend podcast was on there, he'd know it.
Mike would know this. Mike Wilkerson would get it. It's tricky, though. It's a very tricky question. Not Steve Davis.
Everyone's going to start throwing names from the 60s and 70s now, Jay.
Earlier. Not Watts. I'm going to give you a hint. This guy also coached at a school that is now in the SEC. Should give it away right there. Not Bobby Warmack. Bobby Warmack did wear number 11 and was a quarterback. Let me give you a hint. This guy also played defensive back and punted for Oklahoma.
Stumper tonight, Jay.
It's a banger. Darrell Royal. Who got it? Ron?
Ron got it.
Darrell Royal, coach of Texas, played at Oklahoma for a year, played quarterback, wore number 11. Boom.
By the way, Ron still says that Moser wants out of Norman.
Yeah. Hey, way to go, Ron. Congrats on the point tonight.
Can I go back, guys? Can I go back to Eric's comment about 10-2, 9-3? First off, this is unbelievable. Eric and I actually agree on something. That's impressive. So I'm glad that we finally got around to that. Second of all, if the 3 losses, like last year, Jay, every Sooner fan, in my opinion, would have taken 10-2 last year. If the losses,
Jeremy, put a true serum in every Sooner fan after the Texas game. Nobody thought OU would have more than 1 loss.
I didn't say after the Texas game, you idiot.
What do you mean?
Going into the season, people thought OU was losing to Texas last year.
Okay. Well, yeah.
My point is, if you lose to Texas and one other team, it's different. So next year, in my opinion, and I'm not saying I would have this year, the Big 12 was a joke. The two teams they lost to, if OU only would have lost to Texas regular season and Texas in the Big 12 championship, it would have been a little different, I think, take people had. Kansas and OSU, unacceptable, pitiful. So in this case, if OU loses to next year, Texas, and look, I disagree with the people who think Alabama at home is a good loss. Like, you got to beat the
You got to
home
beat
games, in my
Alabama.
opinion,
You got to win your home games.
You got to win your home games in the SEC. It's almost like the Big 12 in basketball.
Correct. And I think, hey, in Copenhagen, you're right about this. And I said the same thing too. It's not a crazy take. I just think it's crazy to be able to rank him number one right now. That's what I'm saying. I just think it's. Well, I agree, and that's what I said earlier. The quarterbacks in the SEC, none of them really just in awe. I'm not in awe of any of them.
No, and actually, Jay, if you would rank them from last year, I guess it would be Ewers and Milroe. They're both made the playoff.
Milroe to me is better than people think. I think he can give OU problems in Norman.
I absolutely don't. I don't think he's very good at all throwing the football.
Well, Bean did pretty good against Oklahoma. Alan Bowman, who's better, Alan Bowman or Milroe?
Well, obviously Milroe's better, I think.
Why did Alan Bowman eat us up? Why did Bowman eat us up?
It was embarrassing, Jay.
Well, I'm just saying it could happen with Milroe.
Yeah.
That's Richard. Great point. Thanks for joining us tonight, Richard. Hey, great point. A lot of it does depend on Latrell and JJ calling games. But a lot of it also depends on, to me, and this is what stands out to me with Jackson Arnold, why I think he's going to be a Heisman Trophy winner at Oklahoma, why I do think he's going to be the next national championship quarterback at Oklahoma. I think it's because I think I watched him in high school. He has that kind of that it to get plays when you really need him. Big plays, a play breaks down, he can make them. Go back to Baker. Baker had plays break down, he would get a first down when needed. I think Jackson Arnold has that. I just can't, after only one game, can't rank him there. I think he's definitely going to get there. I do.
Couple things, Jay. The receivers got to get used to a guy like Jackson Arnold who throws it a little differently. He's got some speed on it, but also extends plays. They got to be able to get open, extending plays. That takes some time to get familiar with your quarterback. Second of all, when Stutzman went down, OU was a different team on defense. And look, this is why you have to play guys early and often. You got to play guys early. You got to rotate through guys so that the trust factor is there when guys go down. And someone asked about, it was Copenhagen asked about, I think, or it's Colin or Copenhagen asked about the defense returning 80%. You know my thoughts on this. It should be the best defense outside of Georgia in the SEC, bar none.
Well,
if you want to say that Jackson Arnold cannot be the top-ranked quarterback, which I'll take. Let's say if you're going to say Jackson Arnold cannot be the top-ranked quarterback, Jason, in the same breath, you must say OU's defense should be number 2. Is that wrong?
No, I mean,
if you're going to say Jackson Arnold cannot be ranked number 1 because he, whatever you want to base it on.
Here's what I'll say to that. And first, let me say, Jimmy was right. Arnold did not win a state championship. That's correct. You're right there. Let me say this about the defense, Jeremy. It's not like you're returning the number 2 ranked defense in the nation. So you can, I think this team should be ranked top 3 in the SEC in defense. They should be. But what I'm saying is, it's not just because you're returning everybody. It's not like you're returning everybody from a top 5 defense in that nation. You're returning everybody from the top, 60, 70 defense in the nation. So that's where I think that, and Eric, that I think this is where you're a little kind of hold your horses, guys, on the D. I think Eric, if you're in if anybody is not in the Discord, we talk about this, and Eric talks about this with the defense. And I'm kind of on Eric's side a little bit on this because I have this kind of this Alex Grinch, this Lincoln Riley. I have this still ingrained in my mind that it's just going to break and fall apart one game and they're going to get 40 scored on them. I'm sorry. I watched it last year against TCU. Up and down the field, dude. Up and down the field.
It was bad, Jay.
What?
It was bad.
And so I have this hesitation every time I want to man the defense. I think personally the defense is going to be a top 3 defense. But I still have hesitation because that's what I see in my mind when you think no way that should happen, and yet it happened. Yes, there were injuries. I get it. But sometimes then you need the backups to step up. That's how you have a great defense. So
I have never said that OU is going to be a top 3 defense in the nation next year. I don't think they have a chance to be a top 3 defense in the nation. I'm going for top 20 defense is what I've said all the time on the lives. They improved 30 spots, I think, last year. They got way better at short yardage. It's the third year into BV. You go back and look at BV's past. Third year, things change. And the other thing I'll say is a top 20 defense, in my opinion, will be a top 3 defense in the SEC, where it's a very difficult league. But to say that minor improvements, I would disagree a little bit with Eric. I think they made some major improvements in areas, and
finish up.
I think they made major improvements in areas. Short yardage was better. They didn't get sacks like they need to. I think they make that jump this year. They didn't have near as many busts in the secondary as they did the prior year. Now, they still had busts, but.
Yeah, and Kim says they made a big jump. Jimmy says he can see a top 20 defense. I can too.
You bashed me for top 20 defense about 2 weeks ago when I said that.
Hey, Coach is right on this, and I think
you bashed me for it.
Will you stop? You just can't chill sometimes. Hey, I think this is fair for both sides of the ball last year. Take away 3 offensive games, it was an average year offensively. Take away Arkansas State, Tulsa, and I can't remember the other one, but take away 3. It really skewed your rankings. Same with defense. Take away the 3 bad games, it was a good defense, but they had 3 bad games. So you got to eliminate those games. Those games cause losses. Period.
Absolutely, Jay. I'm not going to disagree with you there. Collins asked this twice. Who would you compare Arnold's play style? I think he's got the it factor of like a Baker Mayfield is what I would say. I think he, quarterback-wise, maybe arm, size a little bit, Landry Jones. But I think the it factor is like Baker Mayfield. Blake, I don't agree with you a whole lot. We seem to argue a lot on here, but I agree with you in this. An area that OU's got to be better on defense is disciplined. Got to be better disciplined.
They do. And Baum says the D is going to be great. Here, I think I've said this till I'm blue in the face, but we all want him to make another jump. You are not. And I'm going to repeat this. I'm going to say it probably every night on live like I usually do. You're not making another jump this year, Oklahoma. You're not. If the defensive line isn't majorly improved. It's not happening. I don't care. You can be great in the secondary. You can be great at linebacker. If you're not great on if you don't make a big jump defensive line-wise this year, they're not going to make a big jump. They'll be about 50 or 60. They will. That's my opinion. If they don't make major jumps on defensive line.
I agree. Modern-day caveman thinks Zach Alley playing more man will eliminate some of the massive holes. I agree. And going back to the bomb, I think it was Eric the Bomb who said that. Top 20, I think we should have the expectation of that. I do like Kim's comparison of Jason White arm, Baker run style. Randy, do you still believe BV can get it done? Absolutely, I do. But I think he's got 2 years for playoffs or bust. He's gone.
I'm gonna say this. Do you still believe BV can get it done? I still believe BV will get it done. And that's what I'm going to go with. And I think this year they're right there, playoffs. I think they are. And in fact, I'll be disappointed if they're not along the cusp of top 12 to get in the playoff. I think that's a disappointing season. Okay. And then the 2025, they got to be in the playoff. Got to be. With the recruiting classes he's had brought in, it would be Jackson Arnold as another year under his belt. These defensive linemen that are freshmen this year will have another year. So that's why I think this year is even more important. Is you got to be on that cusp. You got to be trying to get in that playoff, man. You got to be fighting for it, and you got to be right there. And I mean, Ole Miss, Missouri, those are your games, man. Those are the games.
The Force says need to rotate players more often. Agreed, 100% the Force. And the other thing I'll say, Jay, is someone mentioned it on here, and I cannot find it now. Dadgummit. It was about what you were saying, really about the recruiting. And at some point, yes, it's got the jump has to be made. I do think defensively it's going to happen. And Zach Alley has not from what I heard, has not spoken publicly yet. I'm ready to hear him, though.
Yeah, I am too. I'm ready to hear him, kind of hear what he's got to do. Bomb says no D-line better than. I agree.
You got
no D-line better than. I agree. Yeah.
Defensive line has to be better.
Has to be better. You got to get pressure. You got to
be better.
Agree. Yep. I mean, that's all there is to it.
It's fun talking it, and I agree. Oh, I know what I was going to say is Ron said the defense is always good this time of year. Yeah, it is.
Hey,
and listen, it's always good the first 4 games. It's got to be good when it matters most.
And let me say something. Let me say something before we get off here tonight. And I hope this doesn't cause a rant. I'm not saying this to cause a rant by you at all, Jeremy.
Oh boy, here we freaking go.
I'm not bringing this up for that reason. I just thought of it right now while I'm sitting here talking and reading these comments. And this came to my mind. I'm going to preface it with this. I think Jackson Arnold will be a great quarterback at Oklahoma. I do. I've already said that multiple times. But if you're basing it off of talent, guys, I know you did and Mess and some other people. Well, you know who's ranked number 16 in a lot of people's rankings as far as quarterbacks in the SEC this year?
Yeah, Jackson Arnold.
No. Who? Brock Vandergriff. Don't tell me he wasn't talented coming out of high school.
Oh my goodness.
He was the number 1 quarterback, was he not? One of the top 2 quarterbacks out of high school, Jeremy.
What year was that, Jay?
It was the same year Caleb Williams came to Oklahoma. Remember, Caleb Williams said he would walk on.
He hadn't played it down in 4 years. Obviously, he's not that great.
Okay, but what I'm saying is,
Jeez.
Yeah, Riley wanted him over Caleb. What I'm saying is this. You cannot just base it off of that. You have to have games where you see it. That's all I'm saying.
I can base it off that for next year. I don't know anything else, Jay. I've watched them in high school. We are brothers. We're twin brothers.
You portaled. You hit the portal, dude. Wow.
We're twin brothers. I just have a beard now. Hey, I don't get Spencer Rattler vibes, and I'll tell you why, Eric. Spencer Rattler, in my opinion, was, I'll just say it, Jay, a little bit of a prima donna coming out of high school. I don't think he was a leader like Jackson Arnold's going to be. He definitely didn't have the size that Jackson Arnold has. Did not have, in my opinion, maybe the running capabilities. I don't know. That's what I would say about that.
So we're talking about talent. I see Big Orange on here again. Thanks for joining us again. So do you think Nico versus Arnold will be the best quarterback matchup in the SEC next year?
And Eric, I will say arm talent, Spencer Rattler's there, and he'll be playing in the NFL. And wasn't he undefeated when they pulled him at OU, Jay?
Yeah, but he wasn't playing well.
Okay, he was undefeated at OU, though. And he was a head case a little bit. Different. Yeah, weird, maybe the best way to say it.
Miguel,
I want to hear what Big Orange Ball's take is on Nico and Arnold, if he thinks they'll be 2 of the top 2 quarterbacks in the league this year. Because I know he's definitely not an OU fan, so he'll tell it like it is. Great comparison, Teague.
I also think he kind of Riley kind of screwed him over, and it kind of dealt with. Yeah. I think it messed with him.
Riley screwed everyone over.
Johnny says no, just probably the best young quarterback matchup. That's true. That's a good point. I mean, Jeremy thinks probably best matchup, right?
I think Jackson Arnold is going to be the best quarterback in the SEC. I think. Keyword is think.
Yeah.
What are you going to base it on? Are we going yards?
I just think I went off today just what you think they're going to be ranked as far as best quarterbacks in the league. I mean.
Oh, I'm not saying ranked.
Hey, Bomb, appreciate you. Bomb, appreciate you so much.
Wow.
Thanks, Bomb. Unlimited member, Bomb. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Bomb. Appreciate that so much, Bomb. Bomb says 7.5 wins over under a stupid. Last thoughts. I'm betting OU softball all 100 wins in a row.
Bomb's been saying 100 wins in a row for how long now?
Forever. And Jay, I've agreed with Bomb. I think 100 also is what it's going to be.
Let me say this.
They have two pretty good doubleheader tests, Mississippi State, Wisconsin, Friday night.
And Jeremy, I'd have to pull up their schedule. I can't in front of me right now. I can't pull it up right now, but The Wisconsin game is the one I picked them to lose. That's this Friday night at 10 o'clock. It's a doubleheader after the 7:30 game against Mississippi State. But you do go to Austin the 1st of April. I don't know where that falls in the win totals and how many they would have. I think it's April 3rd through the 5th. But that 3-game set in Austin is going to be – it's going to be a brutal – it's going to be a tough test to win all three. I think they're really good, dude. And they got a freshman pitcher that's electric.
Yeah, OU will do it. 100 wins.
Hey, thanks again, Bob. We really appreciate that, buddy.
Thanks, Baum, Eric. Hey, listen, Jay, let me say this, too, about Baum had on there the 7.5 wins. If OU doesn't get 8, I'm borderline questioning BV for sure.
Well,
if they go 7-5,
hey,
he has to be majorly questioned.
Hey,
and someone else asks, how many years do you give him?
Jeremy?
I give him 2 years to make the playoff. He's gone. If he's not in the playoff by 2025, he's out of here.
As much as you were on Porter Moser this year, if they don't make the NCAA tournament, if BV doesn't win 7 games, then what?
You got to question and say maybe make a change, Jay. But
I think that win total. That win total.
Porter Moser. Porter Moser's atrocious.
That win total's wild. 7.5. They got.
Is that still what an over/under is?
It was 6.5. It got moved to 7.5.
Man, should have bet on that.
Yeah, I'm not a betting man, but
that would have been easy money. Curtis Lofton is going to be great moving from Soul Mission to Sandlin's job. It's going to be great. Listen,
Jimmy says hot seat if we go 6-6. He will be.
Either the seat's hot or he's not on it because he's gone.
I don't think we have to worry about that.
No, I don't think you got to worry about that either. Unless Arnold was to go down early and you're playing it. That's why I think Casey Thompson could be big. I'm just saying. Listen, major thanks to Eric, the Bomb. Appreciate you tonight. Dropping that super. Thanks so much for that.
Thanks,
for the usual suspects on here. And I'll just say the Surgeon Maniacs, you guys are unbelievable. Being on here every night. And Eric, you're probably not far off. 8-4. I said that's the floor, and that, in my opinion, is going to be putting him on the hot seat because then he's got to make the playoff the next year he's gone, in my opinion.
Miguel said it's hot. Miguel said it's hot the start of the season.
Yeah.
And you know what?
I think everyone's seed to OU is hot.
They made the change to Zach Alley, and I think one of the reasons is I think BV knows they got to take another step.
Have to.
Got to. And I think
I think they will. Here's the thing, though, Jay. We still got several months, but April 20th, I think, is spring game, so that'll be here quicker than y'all know it. We'll make sure we're covering that. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel. If you're not, I'm sure you are, but if you want to become a Sooner Surge Unlimited member and join the Discord, the link is in the description. Also, check out the FanStop, fanstop.com. Subscribe to the Shirt of the Month Club, 10% off if you use code SURGE, and do it by the 20th, which is tomorrow, and you can get on the March shirt. Thanks, Monty. Appreciate
you,
the
Monty.
prayers.
I
will give an update on our dad.
Hey, let me say this, though. This live show, we do it every night. We could not do it without the loyal Surgeon Maniacs. I mean, seriously, this would be me and Jeremy talking to each other without y'all on here with the comments. So thank you for not letting that happen where I have to sit here and argue with him by myself. So appreciate you guys.
Well, it's like arguing to a wall, Jay, is what you always say. But
yeah.
Also, update on our dad. He's back at the skilled nursing place. Continue to pray for him. Possibility of losing his toe or foot based on just the diabetic ulcer that he has. So appreciate you guys' prayers for that. And listen, basketball at Porter Moser's seat should have been hot a year ago.
If they don't win Saturday, they're not making the tournament.
And that is abysmal.
Yeah.
Abysmal.
Yep. They got to win.
We'll see everybody tomorrow night. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you.
Boomer.
Sooner.